Well, today is Friday, the 10th of October. We haven't been here since Sunday. And you can see a bunch of these tomatoes have fallen on the ground. They have a tendency to be weak at the stems. And we've taken all the watermelons out of here that's going to pick. There's one little cantaloupe in there that'll turn. We might be able to get out of it, but all that's got to come out. Since I put compost, what I call compost dust on here, I'm going to turn it all in before I cover it with leaves. Now, I haven't weeded this garden in several months, and this is about the worst of the weeds, but it's not really that bad. And there's still these old squash plants are getting powdery mildew on them again, but they're still making squash. We're getting maybe one a week, and our beans are finally making beans. And I just found out from a comment on one of my videos that I talked about the beans that they don't have to be pollinated. They pollinate themselves. And I told the guy I thought I knew everything there was to know almost about gardening, but I did not know that beans didn't have to be pollinated by bees and insects. But there's quite a number of beans growing in here. Now this is some that's dead when I cut out through the center just to let some light in here. But if we can just keep this weather, and it's supposed to be nice for about 10 more days, if we can keep this up to late October, hopefully early November, we will get a fair amount of beans off of it, like it should have been producing. Man, my prolific cherry tomato here is pretty much quit, so what I picked as of last week is pretty much it. We still got okra. We got some beans growing, a very few squash, but see, you can see two hanging there, and the one I had on the video, another small one there. And we got a few peppers. One up here is turning red. I took all the peppers and chopped them up and froze them. We used a couple of them fresh. My wife likes them in salads. And the birds are pecking on my tomatoes. 4th of July is still producing. Unfortunately, a bunch of them hitting the ground. But we'll get all these if it just won't get cold. Now the guy said it got down close to 32 down here, and then where we live it wasn't nearly that low, but I can't picture that this got any frost damage at all. These are still active, and there's still some better boys in here. Hopefully we won't get a whole lot of rain. We need some moisture, but if it rains all weekend, it's going to make it a little tough trying to clean this garden up. And this muscadine has done rather well to get up there. And what we're hoping for is to next year branch that out, or just let it grow to the top and run both ways and just have all the grapes up here in our face rather than have one. And we got black rot on those. I'm going to have to spray them with a really harsh chemical. And I don't know, they might not make it. If it is, I'm just going to put some muscadines in because they're native to the American, especially the southeast, and they're a lot less disease resistant. And I might, even at my age, just plant 2 more in there because they're a great grape. I've got most of the corn stalks covered with grass clippings and some pine needles. I have a big bag that goes on the back of our riding lawnmower. You might have seen it. And I did both sides and got up all the pine needles, let's see, Tuesday I think it was of this week. Almost a little late getting in my fall crop, but we had a ton of stuff going on. And the cucumbers were from that pole to about the edge of that row. And this was a walkway down beside the melon patch, and I had to pull this fence up to get a little bit more width here, and I've got to put a fence up like that just to, the deer can come over it, but it is more of an aggravation, and it'll keep the rabbits out and hopefully the deer out. And I am got to stake these fences back up and then plow all that. I put lime fertilizer down, and then I have to put a piece across the ends. Then maybe I can get it planted. Well, today is Friday the 10th of October, and it's 5:23 on the East Coast in the afternoon. And there is my Brussels sprouts on the left and broccoli on the right and a fence around it. And you get my age, getting down on your hands and knees is not the best choice in gardening. But anyway, these are transplants. I'm a little later getting them in than I'd like to have. But they're in, and we'll see if we get a really hard early frost. And if it gets cold earlier than normal, it might be a waste of effort. But I'd already grown them. I just need to stick them in the ground. Well, it's 5:45 on Friday the 10th. And that's the okra I picked today. We had 2 squash. One's a nice one. That's the better boys we picked today, and the birds we picked on a couple of them, which is unusual this time of year. And these are the 4th of July's, and there's probably that many on the ground that have just fallen off, and we can't hardly use those, so we don't even pick them up. Eventually I got to rake them out the garden so the seeds won't be in there all year and sprout up next year. Time to go home. A real gray day. It's been sprinkling off and on all day, and we're supposed to get some rain all weekend. Not steady, but off and on.